Okay, we're going to go over factoring special cases. And both of these you can still do with your normal factoring, whether a is equal to 1 or whether a is equal or not equal to 1. But there is a pattern with these certain type of trinomials. So when you have the first term and the last term that are perfect squares, a lot of times it comes up into this pattern, which it ends up being the same binomial squared. If this middle term is a plus, then it's going to be a plus in the parentheses. If the middle term is a minus, then it's going to be a minus in the parentheses. Now, in the end, these are going to be all mixed up with other trinomials, so you're not going to know it's this specific one, but you should start to notice the perfect squares. Okay? So you have, I'm going to start with this example, 4x squared minus 24x plus 36. And this last term is always going to be a positive. So my first term is 4x squared. My last term is 36. Both of those are perfect squared. So what happens is this term, what it really is 2x squared. This is 6 squared. And what the 24 is going to be 2x times 6 multiplied by 2. Okay? Now, I haven't paid attention to the sign here yet. Because that's negative, what this really is here is not a 6, but actually a negative 6. Which means when I factor it, what's going to happen, it's going to be 2x, that a term, minus 6 squared. And you can double check it. 2x minus 6 times 2x minus 6 and multiply it out and FOIL or distribute twice, and it will come back to this one. So if this is confusing, you don't need to use it, but you should start to be noticing it. Okay? Notice when these are perfect squares, because a lot of times they end up being the same binomial twice. You can still factor it the same way. Basically what's going to happen is if this first term and the last term are perfect squares, you're going to take the square roots of those. That's going to go here and here. This sign tells you whether it's positive or negative in the middle, and it's going to be that parentheses squared. So for this one, when you only have the x squared term and the constant, and what's missing is that middle term with the x, this is a difference of squares. If they're two perfect squares, what ends up happening, take the square root of them, square root of 25 is equal to 5, square root of 49 is equal to 7. So what ends up happening is that this becomes 5x and 5x, this becomes 7 and 7, and the signs, the only difference with the signs, notice, is that one's positive, one's negative. And again, you can double check it by doing the FOIL, and what happens is the two x terms will end up canceling out. Okay, go ahead and try these two, and I'll clarify some things in class if we need it. Okay, here we go. What do you call a king's sore throat? A royal pain in the neck.